I was in the Satare Valley and Punch Bowl. It was right on the 38th, yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, our front lines, there was a valley with a river below, and on the other side was the enemy, but we could actually see them. We all had guard duty, day and night. We're 24 hours a day. We were on 2 hours and off 4 hours. So guard duty was primary. And at night, we used to send patrols out to go down the bottom of the hill to sit on this side of the river to make sure that enemy weren't trying to creep up on us, which they did very often. And so we used to sit in the bottom of the river, and every hour we used to have to call back in to the command post to let them know how things were going on. And on occasion, we would encounter the enemy, and we would call in mortar fire. And if they get close enough, then we would open fire with our rifles. The river, I suppose, was probably 50 to 60 feet wide. It was very shallow, so that they could walk across it. And we would sit on our side of the river and just watch them, because they were very sneaky, and they would come across the river, and we could see the shadows. And then when we saw that, then we'd send up a flare and then call in position for the mortars to come down. If the ones who did get through to our side, then we would fire upon them. And several times, if they hit some of our men, which we had to carry back up the hill. So
I joined the Navy on June 6, 1942. We were part of the Remember Pearl Harbor Brigade that left from the State House and went to Newport, Rhode Island to do our training. We were part of a new division of the Navy, which was known as the Amphibious Force, and we shipped out on LSTs out of Norfolk, Virginia. We did our basic training in Newport, Rhode Island, which was about maybe a 6 or 9 week training, just long enough to get our inoculation and our uniforms and things. I went to school in Boston at the Fargo building, and I shipped out. I'll never forget the day that I shipped out from the Fargo building to go to Norfolk, Virginia. It was the day of my sister's wedding, which I didn't make, and it was also the day of the Coconut Grove fire, which I didn't know about until the next day when I was reading the papers down in Norfolk, Virginia. An LST was what they called a landing ship tank, and was part of the amphibious force. And then we went. The ships would hit the beach. They'd actually beach themselves on the sand. They had bow doors and a big ramp. They'd open the bow doors, drop the ramp, and discharge their cargo. The cargo could be whatever the armies needed at that time. It could be tanks, trucks, or just plain provisions, or sometimes just all troops.
I was in the United States Marine Corps, and I served with the 1st Marine Division, 3rd Battalion, 7th Regiment, Mike Company, which was, I was in Vietnam, 67, 68. We were about 20 miles west of Da Nang, the port city of Da Nang, toward the Laotian border. We were the furthest west of any 1st Marine Division unit in Vietnam while I was there. Our job was I was a machine gunner, so I was in an infantry unit. Our job was to search out and destroy the enemy every day. We ran combat patrols every day, ambushes every night. We were on a little hill. Our company was about 100 people. A real regular Marine Corps infantry company probably has closer to 200 people. But we never were at full strength due to people being wounded, killed, injured, sick. So we were a pretty formidable force, and Like I said, we ran operations out of there. Also, we were hell lifted out of there a number of times to join the rest of the battalion on battalion size and regimental size operations. A battalion is about 800 men. A regiment is 4 battalions. So we had quite a few people out on those operations, and we had the air support, artillery support, helicopter support all the time. So we had a lot of firepower. Our job, again, as I said, was to search out the enemy, and we did that regularly. We didn't make contact every time we searched for them, but we did run the patrols and the ambushes every day and every night. So you didn't get a lot of sleep. We were on, like I said, a little hill. It was called Hill 52. It was sandbag trench line around the hill, bunkers with a CP in the center. I was in, of course, the machine gun bunker. We had machine gun bunkers at each end of the hills, so we had intersecting fire, barbed wire. We had claymore mines around the hill to protect us. And we were assaulted a few times, never were overrun or seriously attacked, but we did get a lot of mortar attacks, and sometimes they would try to get through the wire and stuff, but we usually were able to get enough illumination out there to see them and keep people away from our hill. We made contact when we left the hill. That was when we usually made contact.